a perfect storm, which is what our story says, perfectly put, for the European gas market, isn't it?
That's right. You have all these things at exactly the same time, Mark. First of all, we had this pipeline problem in the North Sea, which, as well as shutting down a lot of oil flows, meant that platforms had to shut down their gas flows as well. We had this accident in Austria this morning, and all this comes as we have some of the coldest weather of the winter so far, which is underpinning demand.
Why is Britain unable to cope with such disruptions?
Well, there are a couple of specific things that make the problem worse in Britain than elsewhere. Most importantly is that we're chronically short of gas storage. We had this very big gas storage site called Rough, which was in an undersea old gas field under the North Sea. We could pump gas in during the summer and take it out in winter. Centrica have decided to close that because the cost of maintaining it, it's, you know, more than 25 years old, more than 30 years old, sorry. The cost of maintaining it just meant it wasn't worthwhile, so that leaves us very vulnerable to these sort of outages.
And on the North Sea pipeline, I know we spoke to the CEO earlier. What do we know? How long is it going to last? What sort of disruptions is this causing?
These hairline fractures are not especially unusual, but typically they can just repair them by wrapping a sort of almost a plaster around it. But in this case, they decided it was serious enough that they had to empty the pipeline, take a section out and put a new section of pipeline back in. And that means closing all the fields feeding the pipeline so you can empty it. It's going to take about 3 weeks.
What's the correlation with the price of a barrel of WTI, Will?
Well, look, this is one of the really interesting market reactions that we've seen, is that the spread between New York oil prices and London oil prices has widened to more than $6-7 a barrel, the widest since 2015. So you can really see in that spread that this is having an impact on the UK market for oil and not in New York, which shows that it's specific to the North Sea.
What do you think the premium is in Brent now? I mean, once this crack gets fixed, do we, sharply come back down?
It's very hard to say. It comes against a background of a strong market in Brent in particular. Demand is good from Asian consumers who buy grades like Brent and ones that price from Brent. The OPEC decision was positive for investors. So there's a bullish background against all this. So we may get some sell-off, but it's not the only thing that's going on in the market right now, Vonnie.